This one's gonna suck. This one is gonna suck. What is up, everybody? It is your local Ottawa fan, and I'm here to talk about the blown 3-0 lead and the 4-3 overtime loss to PWHL New York. This is a game they should not have lost. I've said about a bunch of their other losses. They now are 2-0. I think it's 4-1. Yeah, 2-0, 4-1. And of those 5 losses, all 1-goal losses. The first 4, I like to think fairly nice about it. They're a good team, I said. They'll get the wins eventually, I said. Oh, just you wait, I said. This should have been that game. There's no excuse for losing this one. It was 3-0 with about 6 minutes left in the third period. And before you could blink, in under 2 minutes, it was tied and we lost in overtime. We did not touch the puck in overtime. They had possession all game and then they scored. So this one especially stings because they finally did everything I've been saying to do. We need offense. We were up 3-0. We got offense. We need Matchmeyer to stand on our head. Well, for the first 55 minutes of the game, she did. For the first 55 minutes of the game, she was great. And then the last 5 minutes in overtime, things took a turn. We were plugging lanes. We were blocking shots. You can't play 55 minutes in this league. You can't. You got to play the full 60. And we took our foot off the gas. We had them. Dead to rights took our foot off the gas. And I don't know why we keep playing for overtime. First off, overtime's 2 points, not 3. You get 3 points for winning in regulation. And second off, we don't win in overtime. We've been in overtime 4 times. We have not a single win. Nada. Going to overtime, just give the other team the win. So I'll break down the game. But this is the first time that I can really say I'm upset with this result. I'm very upset with this result. I'm quite pissed off. The other games, you know what? I was able to say, good team. They played well. They fought hard. This is New York. New York wasn't doing great. New York is a team. We are in a dogfight for the last playoff spot. We are in a dogfight. Us, Toronto, Boston, and New York. And you have an opportunity to get some separation. Now we're dead last in the league. Dead last. Oh, but games in hand. It doesn't matter about games in hand. We should be in a playoff spot. When you keep so consistently losing these winnable games, that will cost us. That will burn us in the long run. When you have a big lead, hold on to it. Don't take your foot off the gas. Finish the friggin' game. Now let's get into the breakdown. It started kind of even, but pretty early on, I liked us better because it didn't feel like any team was actually able to set up. They weren't able to actually get set up to make a play. So it was, to start out, really a game of speed and skill. And that's something that we were better at than New York. And a game of speed and skill is not a game that New York is going to win. And I wrote it in my notes well into the first period. The only way New York wins is if they settle things down or if we start making mistakes. Because at the start, we came out with a vengeance. And we had this great breakaway by Emily Clark, and it didn't quite go in, but we kept possession of the puck. We kept things moving, and then boom, right from the blue line, an absolute bomb, 1-0 Ottawa. Terlova might have the best goal song in the entire PWHL. I absolutely loved it. Things were rocking. All right, early lead, 1-0 Ottawa. And we settle into our game. As always, Ottawa's very good once a goal is scored to not let that break up momentum and to find their game. And they settled in for the rest of the first period. They stayed aggressive. They drew a penalty. And this penalty, it didn't generate much. But New York's penalty kill was very defensive. They didn't even attempt a jailbreak. Even when they did have a chance or two to maybe make a break, you could tell that we really tired them out. And it almost felt to a certain degree like we were playing end the period, but we did. And we go into the second period up 1-0. We're looking like the better team. We had quite a few really good opportunities by Watts. Watts had a very good game this game. It's a shame that she lost. She really, she played her heart out. She had like a beautiful dangle, and it just goes off the post. So lots of things to be excited about in the first period. And I mean, like I said, all we need to do is just keep this level of play. Maschmeyer, great as usual. Second period, bit more of the same. Dominant start. We had a very dominant start to the second period. We were clearly just outshooting, outscoring, outpacing them in every aspect of the game. And that was key. We kept the same pace in the second period. We got lots of chances, lots of scrambles in front of the net. Again, we weren't quite scoring, but we had heaps and heaps of pressure on them. This was our game to lose. Even though it was 1-0, it felt like it was our game to lose. And so we had so much control in the second. That was another key aspect that I noticed. We had control of the puck. There was a good chunk of the second period where New York couldn't even really get it to the center line. We were just in their zone, passing, getting them tired, taking shots, generating pressure. They would maybe get it out of the blue line before it went right back into their zone. And it was clear that we were just completely outworking them. We were on a whole other level. And finally, when it looked like, okay, they're going to score, we take a penalty. And it felt like we were probably almost there, and we take a penalty. And then we kill it like it's nothing. And like I said, all we needed to do was make sure that New York didn't get a spark. You couldn't give them an inch because they would take a mile. If you gave them any life, they could get back in this game. And the key was not letting that happen. In the second period, they did not let that happen. And although New York started getting aggressive, we played up to it, and we got a power play of our own. And we don't score on that power play, but again, applying pressure. Watts with another huge play, gets around the net, and boom, back of the net, 2-0 Ottawa. This is one thing I will say. We got screwed. That was a goal. It should have been a goal. New York commits interference on the play. I did not see New York regain control of the puck, but the whistle blew. That should have been a goal. The goal gets called back. This should have been a goal. 100%. This should have been a 2-0 game at the end of the second. Instead, New York takes a penalty. Penalty brings us to the top of the third. Okay, we still have a 1-0 lead. It should be 2-0, but as long as we keep up this pressure, as long as we keep up this level of play, we'll be fine. And in the third period, what do? Boom, immediate clap on by Lexi Adjia, and this time it counts 2-0 Ottawa. We keep applying the pressure. New York tried to give some pushback. Did not matter. We gave them everything that we had, and it just felt like we had more in the tank than they did. It just felt like we had more energy, that we were the better team. And dangerous hit, a few body checking calls this game. You could tell that this was getting physical, and some of the hits were pretty dirty. And we got another power play. And you can't keep giving us power plays. We make them pay. Boom! 3-0. Savannah Harmon absolutely drills it in after a monster all-star game. She comes in and scores 3-0. There's like half a period left. And this is the point where people start to get comfortable. Where it was like, okay, like that's it, right? It's 3-0. There's 10 minutes left. Like, we're just going to run the clock out, kind of let this game end, right? And New York actually threw everything they had us. I found the first 5 minutes after we made it 3-0 was actually the most dangerous. It was clear that New York threw everything they had at us, and it felt like we stopped them. We blocked their shots. We plugged up their lanes. And so now we're coming down, 6 minutes left, and it's like, okay, they just had what felt like their last hurrah. What felt like their last chance to get in this game. Now there's 6 minutes. They're down 3 goals. There's 6 minutes left. Like, that should be it, right? Or I think it was close to almost to 5 minutes. We have a miscue, a defensive miscue. It happens. And they score. And I even thought to myself, Ottawa's really good when they get scored on of coming back with a vengeance. So this might end up being a good thing. Okay, it's 3-1. There's like 4 or 5 minutes left. Just come back just as strong with just as much of a vengeance, and there you go. Eat up those last few minutes and the game's over. And in under a minute, with 4:22 left, almost the same kind of situation, another cross-ice pass, and it's 3-2. We call a timeout, which I like. I like that. Okay, we're starting to give them some momentum. Calm the game down. Take a timeout. Let's get back into it. We take a penalty. Lexi Agia, who, like I said, good game. She scored a goal, but you cannot take a penalty. Not when we are blowing it, when we are crumbling. That's like the worst thing you can do. And I don't think I need to tell you what happens. Of course, New York ties it up. Of course, it goes into overtime. Of course, we don't even touch the puck. And of course, they score. And now we are the lowest team in the league. Yes, it's only by like a point or two. But nonetheless, we shouldn't be in this position. Yes, I get it, games in hand. Yes, I get, they are better than their record shows. But at the end of the day, if we're better than our record shows, then how about we reflect it in our record? Let's win some games. Especially, this game was so winnable. It's against New York, a team that's supposed to not be that great. I've been saying that New York's not that great of a team. You're up 3-0 with half a period to go. You got to lock it down. You've got to lock it down, especially here in Ottawa. I mean, have you seen the state of sports in Ottawa? That market's wide open. Red Blacks are doing awful for the past few seasons. The Sens are the Sens. They're also at the bottom of their division. The difference is they haven't made the playoffs since 2017, and every year there's some hope, and they're well out of the playoff race. So this is the opportunity of a lifetime. The other teams are just out of it. This is the golden opportunity for PWHL to get into the playoffs, to be the good team in Ottawa, to be the team to watch, because, why would I watch the other teams? They suck. It's PWHL Ottawa that is doing really good right now. And we've blown so many games. We've had so many leads that we've given up. I mean, I've said before, I think we have had 2 games, maybe three, where we trailed, 2 games. 2 games where we trailed by more than a goal at any point. 2. We've played 7. So this is a team that's oftentimes playing from ahead, that's blowing leads, blowing third period leads, even a 1-goal lead in the third period. We got to learn to lock it down. We got to learn to be clutch, because right now we are so unclutch. We've got a choke gene. And you got to learn to lock games up. And the first few times, I get it. It happens. But now it's starting to become a trend. And we're past the quarter point of the season. So this is where you got to really, really lock that down. Because again, this easily could have and should have been a win. And we had so many players who did do really well. Like I said, Daryl Watts all game was looking amazing. And I'm so glad that she was able to get an assist, because she had so many dangles, so many beautiful plays. She had that point that was robbed, absolutely robbed. And then finally she gets the assist. Emily Clark with 2 apples. Savannah Harmon coming back from the All-Star game. Hat-trick in the All-Star game. A goal here. Lexi Adja getting another goal. That's, I think, her 4th on the season. So many good players. Even Maschmeyer, who, mind you, the end of the game for Maschmeyer wasn't good. Maschmeyer is normally great. The last 6 minutes of the game plus overtime, Maschmeyer did not look good. And we needed a big stop, and we didn't get it. We got a big stop, though, for the rest of the game. For the other 55 minutes, Maschmeyer was the audit wall. This isn't a team where it's like, they just can't win. This is a team that very much can win, that very much should win. That's why I'm so mad. That's why I'm so upset, because I look at this team and I'm like, they could be winners. They could be winning a whole bunch of games, and yet they aren't. And we still only have wins against Toronto. Toronto's the only team we've beaten. We've played every team in the league, and the only team we've beaten is Toronto. We've got to change that. I think I am now at the point where next game is must win. I know it's against Minnesota, and Minnesota's good. Doesn't matter, because we're supposed to be good too. And now we're at the bottom of the league. This is must win. We got to show that we're still competitive. We got to show that we're still in the hunt, that we're still in the race, that we can win games. I don't care how good Minnesota is. Minnesota could be 7-0, 8-0, 9-0. I don't care. This game's must win. We gotta show the league that we got some pushback, that we got some fight, that we can close out a game. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So hopefully something good can come out of this game. We really got to bring it next game. We got a long break ahead of us. So I really hope that gives us time to lock things down and get ready for next game, because we need a win. And as always, go Ottawa, go.